And we are live. Yes, we are back. We are back to attack, and I am so glad that everybody has jumped on here. We hope everybody is okay. Everybody's doing well. I am praying that my internet connection holds out for this full hour because it just dropped out of nowhere 30 minutes ago. I thought, well, the hang, I'm going to have to cancel this hangout again, but it's been going okay. Everything's moving right. We've had one hang of a weird week this entire week. It has been no shows for most of our hangouts. I know that we didn't have a hangout last week. Katie and Pops couldn't have their hangout as well. I know that Wisdom Wednesday was canceled as well because we had problems with there and people couldn't make it. And my face is just blown up to the size of a balloon on the side. You should have seen me. It looked like I had gone 5 rounds with Mike Tyson, 1 round with Mike Tyson, half a round with Mike Tyson. There's no ways that I could speak. I couldn't pronounce my S's. My S's were my biggest. I couldn't do it. Every time I did S, it came out shh, and things weren't going very well. Anyway, and then, of course, I know that Jamie had a bit of trouble with his audio, so he was having technical issues. And then, of course, the workshop we had to cancel as well. Mother's Day, man, my entire birthday I spent blind because I had burnt my retinas with my contact lens. I left them on too long, and it just absolutely ruined my day. But other than that, I'm coping. I'm doing well. I'll get into a little bit more about my week and what actually happened. But with that being said, let's go over to Pops and find out how he's doing today. How are you doing, Pops?
Hey, thanks, Dave. You know, you were lucky you could do at least a shh, because you could go, oh, shh, yeah. Never mind. Hey, everything is going good in Minnesota. That's where Katie and I have been for the last week-ish or so. Getting things done for my oldest daughter because her son is incapacitated and she works. And anyway, we're hanging out with the grandkids. That's been fun. Sleeping on the couch, that has been a challenge. Only because we didn't want to do the slide outs in the street. But it was... yeah, it's been great getting back here and looking forward to leaving. Yeah, I like my family a lot. Actually, I love my family, but I'm getting ready to leave. It's going to be great.
I'm sure it's and of course I'm sure Katie's got plenty to say about that. Katie, how things been going? I believe you took a roof off of something. What's going on there? Or a roof? Should I say a roof?
No, I say roof.
Okay, roof.
Okay. No, actually, we had leftover shingles in the yard, and what better way to get rid of shingles that haven't been used than to lay it out for a good paver for the kids' playground, and then we're going to put wood shaving chips or whatever so they can play. So it's a good weed stopper. Let's just say that. If anybody out there has old shingles, you know, it's a great weed stopper. You can use that. So I was doing that today.
Awesome. And before we get on to Jamie, I just wanted to let everybody who's watching this know, go ahead and share this hangout on your timeline in a group that you're a part of so you can tell other people about what we're doing here. It's part of the way we can get the message out. And of course, this way, this is a way that you can actually connect with other people and let them know that you're a part of something, part of a community, and that's a great thing too. So with that being said, Mr. Jamie Shaw, how are you doing, sir? I got to say, you're looking very clean shaven and neat and stuff. What's going on with that?
Well, I'm not clean shaven, but I got a buzz cut, you know, so trim the beard up a little bit. But I didn't shave this morning, so you know I'm not clean shaven. But it was time for a haircut. You know, I was getting to be a hippie, so I had to, you know, get it all whacked off. So, but I've had a crazy 2 weeks. I tell you, 2 weeks ago I was out doing traffic counts with my guys because one of the guys got mouthy with me, got my face. I had to fire him, so I had to go out and take his place. I lost the key to my truck out doing traffic counts. And then Thursday, my phone went nutsoid, and I had to wait 2 days to get a phone replacement phone from the insurance company. The screen just started doing all kinds of fruity crap, and I lost half my contacts. Katie is probably wondering, she messaged me on something and I didn't answer her for like 2 days. She's probably wondering what the heck was going on because I didn't answer. But I had no phone access. So I was kind of lost for a couple of days with no phone access. I mean, I could, if my wife called me or somebody else called me, I could see enough of the screen to answer the call, but I couldn't make outgoing calls. And I couldn't answer text or Facebook messages or anything. And I really don't, when I'm at work, I really don't log into Facebook on my computer because I'm supposed to be at work, you know. So I do all my Facebook on my phone. So I was kind of disconnected, but some good things happened. I jumped into the Twitter training. And when we get into what we're talking about tonight, I'll show you guys something that really happened that's really cool. And but this Twitter training, I spent a week going through it, and I started implementing today, and my Twitter's been blowing up all day. So it's awesome.
That's terrific news, man. Can't wait to hear that. I want to share. I want to share a little bit about what actually happened to me this week, just so everybody knows. So about last week, I think it was last week. No, it must have been the week before last. I had felt a bit of a pain in my tooth, but I didn't think nothing of it. That's one of the things that I need to work on. If I feel pain in my body, I should directly go to that and get that sorted out. But me being me, I just ignored it and carried on with my day. And a few days later, my face started to swell up, and I got to the point where I was one day I was on here and I felt my face and it was really swollen up. I didn't know what was going on. And I completely forgotten about the tooth thing. So I went to my doctor and he looked at me and he was kind of like, man, that looks kind of serious because it had swelled all the way to my eye. And he was like, man, we got to get that sorted out. So he gave me an antibiotic, injected me in the back side. That was, I don't mind, I went down for a bit. He gave me some antibiotics, some powerful antibiotics, but unfortunately they weren't the right ones. I went back home. Nothing happened. I went back to the doctor, and he didn't really know what was going on. So he had to recommend that I go to the hospital in the area. And I really didn't want to go there because the last thing I want to do is go in for an infection on my face and then come up without a limb, because that's happened before. And I wasn't going to be a part of that. So I then went to a hospital. I knew that was a good one. And I found a doctor there. He looked at me. He was also kind of puzzled. And he recommended I go to somewhere else. You get shifted around all these places. I went to another doctor, and he kind of looked at me. He didn't know what to do. And then I kind of remembered through a conversation I had with the second doctor about my tooth. And I suddenly realized while I'm in agony that I needed to go and see my dentist, because that's where it all started. So I went to my dentist, and the great thing I love about my dentist is that she really listens to me. And I was saying, there used to be a doctor I used to go to that used to prescribe these huge antibiotics, massive things, the size of rugby balls, they're massive. And he would give me like 3 or 4 of them and I'd be cured. So I told her about this. She said, yes, I know exactly what that is. Go ahead and get this. And she says, you don't want to go here to the clinic because they'll give you like M&Ms. And go. And I said, write a prescription. I'll go and buy the proper stuff. I went to the pharmacy and they gave me generics. I said, what about the originals? They said, no, we haven't had them for like 4 years, but we've only got these generics. I took them and I started feeling relief straight away. It was unbelievable. Now, while this is all going, I don't know if you guys know, I had a friend that boards with me, and his name's Bruno, and he has spastic cerebral palsy, and he has trouble walking because he can't, because as he's getting older, it's getting harder for him to walk, and so he takes it very easy from one place to the other. And this particular night that I was in a lot of pain, I couldn't fall asleep, and I heard a thud, And I walked into his room, to his TV room, because he's got a TV room next door that he watches, because he's a huge TV fanatic. He watches series and movies. He knows a hell of a lot of things about movies and stuff. So if you ever want a good movie to watch, go and ask him. He'll tell you. He's really amazing at that stuff. Anyway, and he had fallen, and he had thought that his head was bleeding. And so, "Are you okay?" He says, "Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened." And he had slightly moved his 40-inch TV, and then he had bumped his Blu-ray player, and he had knocked his amp a little bit into the cabinet. Now, you got to understand, it was a tight fit anyway, so you can imagine how hard he fell. And on this cabinet, and you have to understand, he has this massive amp, and he has the surround system, huge speakers, massive, and he has this dial that he just has to move like, 5 millimeters. And if he moves it 5 millimeters, it's really loud. So it's like one of those really powerful amps. And unbeknownst to everyone else, including himself, he had knocked the amp so hard that his elbow or something must have moved the dial, and it had gone right around. But of course, we didn't know this. And, once I got him up and all settled down and he was okay, we got everything straightened out, the first thing he says to me is the TV okay? Because, that's how he rolls. He wants to know if the TV's okay. We set him down and everything was cool. Set him down, got him in the chair and everything. And, he likes to end his time on the computer by watching something like a series. So I close the door and I go back. And I'm about to lie down, and I thought, I need to sort something out. So I opened up the door, quietly move, and I tell you something. He put on the TV and he played his series, and the level of noise that came out of that room was so loud. Honestly, it felt like a jumbo jet was hovering above the house. Like a 747, so loud. I didn't want to open up the door because I thought if I do, it's just going to bellow right through the house and deafen my ears. And all this time I'm thinking, he's dropped the remote. He's got such a fright. He's dropped the remote and he's trying to press stop. And eventually he stopped. I opened up the door and said, "Buddy, could you turn it up a little bit more? Because I couldn't hear it quite clearly enough." He got such a fright. And I got such a fright because I didn't know what the heck was going on. That was quite funny. Of course, I'm laughing my head off, and it's paining I'm hurting so badly because of my mouth. Oh my goodness, it was crazy. But that was the highlight of last week. I've got to say that was hilarious. But before you start saying, what are we actually talking about tonight? What are we actually talking about today? And I sound like Pat Patterson here. We actually are going to get to a subject today. And, if you had read my emails before, I'd spoken to you and I said, the power of C. And what is it that we're talking about today? And, what we really want to talk about, and this is very important because honestly, if you're not part of this, if you're not interacting with this, it's a huge minus in your success. Because I can tell you that in the 7 years that I've failed in my business, when I was making nothing, to the point now where I am constantly bringing income into my business, is only because of this thing. Only because of this. And the big C word here is, and get your mind out of the gutters, the big C word here is community. Community is so important to your business. And I can honestly say that if it weren't for this amazing community that we have in this business that we're involved in, and the many businesses that we're a part of, I can honestly say that my week and the way it's gone, it would be very difficult for me to come back. It would be very difficult for me to get momentum again, because I wouldn't have incredible people around me like, Robert Nevin, Jamie Shaw, Andre, all of these amazing people here. We've got Mary Beth, we've got Pops, we've got Katie, we've got so many people like Sonia, and so many people that we connect with on a regular basis. It would be really difficult for me to get back in. Just think of it for a second. Think of it for a second. If you are working on your business and it's only you, and you're starting to get into a bit of routine because it's becoming a habit, but then a snag just comes into your life, like your connection isn't working. You get riddled with a huge infection. You have to move about. Things happen. People get married. People, their funerals. They're big adjustments that you have in your life. And then when everything is calmed down, it's very difficult for you to get back into rhythm again. And all of us were talking about this earlier on. And Jamie made a very good point about community, which, if it's all right with Jamie, I just want to bring up. Just give me a thumbs up, Jamie, if I can bring it up with you. So the whole idea is that we have this community, and it isn't just about you being part of a community. All right. It isn't just about you being part of this community. It's about you being involved with the community. I'm speaking from a guy who goes to church, guys being, having a church community. I know there are a lot of people that say, gee, I don't want to be around church because there's so many strangers there, but I really want to feel part of it. The only way that you can really be a part of that
I think we
Okay,
lost Dave. I think he froze.
Yeah, I think he's frozen. Oh boy.
Go ahead, Katie.
Well, I know that he was talking about the community part of it, so I just kind of wanted to emphasize on that because it's been a pretty crazy week for all of us. I mean, it's just we didn't have time, or we didn't make time to do, or I'm actually going to speak for myself, to do a lot of the marketing and the reaching out to people and the follow-ups that I wanted to do in my business. And it opened up my eyes a lot, especially to the moms out there. By the way, it was just Mother's Day yesterday. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms. But I'm going to talk about Lori. She's got 8 kids, and she's got 8 kids and working a business. And you have Shumila, who has 3 boys, and she's working the business and she's doing it. And here I am with like no kids, and like I come home for a week and I kind of get to my sisters, and my nieces are like my best friends. I'm telling you, they're 3 and 4. We share color crayons, so they're my best friends. But anyways, I get home and they take a lot of my I absorb a lot of their stuff, their kidness. And I was just thinking, it really opened my eyes about all these moms who are out there doing this online business thing, and they have kids. I'm like, all of a sudden, like 2 days go by, and I'm like, holy crap, how do these moms do this? I'm like, that it's like, I learned a lot. Seriously, that is insane. Now Dave is back. Dave, how are you? How's your internet?
I'm sorry, I wasn't going to talk for much longer. Where did I lose you? Where
it was somewhere like this.
Okay. But I mean, it's fine. I really just, the whole idea behind being in a community and being part of that community is also interacting with that community. And a lot of people, and we know that there are a lot of members inside of a community that don't actually do anything. So if you ask them, are you actually in a community? They say, yes, I'm in a community. But as Jamie pointed out earlier on, as we were talking, they're not really trying to contribute something. Maybe Jamie wants to add a bit to that conversation. Just if you want to chat to me.
I can rant on this all day. I mean, because I can talk from experience. Because when when I come in the 24-hour marketing community, when we started the hangout, I sat back and I was quiet. I didn't really say anything. Didn't really get involved. I may ask a question here or there, but I think one of the big questions I asked was how to integrate my story into my story. So and Dave kind of walked me through that. But 4 things I've taken from Dave about community is: 1, be part of it; 2, interact with it; 3, contribute to it; and 4, train within it to get practice. Why? Because the community believes in you when you can't believe in you, and we got your back. We'll support you. We'll give you hints and tips and tricks, and fine tune that Facebook Live or that video before you actually go live with it. That's the place you want to practice and get feedback. Don't sit back on the fence and just come and show up every week and say you were there. Participate. That's why we have the workshop. That's why we have this community. I know I'm not real active in the chat, that's because I have a full-time job, and I can't be in the chat interacting with everybody because my boss will get cranky and then I'll get in trouble. And my job funds my business, but most of the community members know that if they need my help IT-wise, I'm there. And I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to share my screen and show you what you get out of being part of a community, because right now I'm going to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Katie Stage. I invested in this Twitter program, and I asked her to do something for me, and she did. And I had to pay her for her services, but she still did it for me. And let me share my screen here real quick. Let's see. I asked her to make a Twitter banner for me. There's my new Twitter banner. You guys all see that? Can't hear nobody. You guys see that or? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So Katie made that Twitter banner for me. So what I did is I took what Katie's expertise did, and I took it into Canva, and I put a border around it and put it as a Facebook, background picture. And then I took it back into Canva and I made a YouTube background with it by adding a background to it. So I multi-purposed it. But it was her design skills that come up with this thing. And it really looks good. It really pops. And, like I said, I invested in the Twitter training, and my followers were at 1,200. Just today, I've gone from 1,200 followers up to 1,599, and look at my analytics. I got 130 impressions, 4 people engaged just on a video I did. Not only am I putting posts out on Twitter, and I think when I changed this banner and put this banner up here, I started getting likes and follows and tweets and stuff like that and direct messages. So that had a lot to do with it too. But the Twitter engagement has really gone up. You see, my engagement was really low here about a week ago, 64, 68, 70, and then you see it starts climbing because of this Twitter stuff that I've been doing, and it's really got me excited. I stop sharing my screen now. Got me excited because this stuff is working, and I owe a lot of that to Dave and Katie for kicking me in the butt, but they put me on the spot and made me train. But a lot of you know that I haven't been real active in probably the last 8 months. And it's not because I'm not working. It's not because I'm not marketing. I've been doing a lot of work on myself. And I know, a lot of people in the community have seen a change in me, seen a growth in me, and I feel like I've stepped into another level, especially, now that I'm back to working on leads and lead generation. I don't care about all the marketing. I'm focusing on promoting and lead generation. And that community has helped me grow into this person and get me going, But Brian Finale did a wake-up call the other morning about investing in you, about working on you and it was all about working on you, because if you don't work on you, none of this stuff's going to happen. All the marketing trainings in the back office, all the lead generation tactics are in the back office. But if you don't work on you, nothing's going to happen. So I think I'm done ranting, Dave.
Oh, that's great. I love it. And, I mean, it's true. Community is, what's interesting about this week, even though my interaction has been quite low, the community has really helped me in so many ways. I got on the leaderboard this week, and I didn't even know about it until somebody in the community reached out to me saying, "Hey, Dave, you're on the leaderboard." And, it's just amazing that you got that interaction, just the little things, because we miss it often when we're online. And I owe a lot to this community for where I am today. There's no ways I'd be in the position I am without having people like everybody on this panel and people on here like Andre and Mary Beth and Robert and everybody watching right now. I think Robert had to step away for a few seconds, but it's amazing that you don't really miss it until it's gone, and you don't really know the value until you're in. And the only way that you can really be in is by connecting with people. So, I'm finding out if you're not part of a community, make sure you're connecting with people at least. All right, you've got to be. This is a people business. This is not about just products. It's not just about you selling products. This is a people business. And, I would rather buy from people that I know, like, and trust than just buy products willy-nilly. The fact that I'm connecting with people and the fact that so many people have reached out to me because I'm part of, on my birthday, the 12th of May, I had so many people reach out to me. It was overwhelming. And normally, because I know this happens when it's your birthday and you get a couple of responses, but I had so many people say, "Hey, Dave, just want to say happy birthday," from complete strangers that I didn't even know, because I've helped them in some way. And that's just overwhelming to me. It really, really touched me. Maybe Pops or Katie, you want to say something or add to this?
Yeah, like you were saying, when we missed on all our hangouts, I really felt like I was missing something in my weekly and daily activities. Just very strong. I missed it a lot. It's really cool to hang out with everybody, and we have great connections and develop great friendships, and it goes beyond a business environment and becomes a friendship and a caring community. And it's hard to explain. It could be like being a church member or a community, neighborhood community type thing. It's the same thing, only we do it on the internet. So and we get to know the kids, everybody's kids when they have little ones, they have them on. It's a home business, so your kids are going to be around. Maybe your husband, wife, or whomever is going to be around, and they walk past the camera. Big deal. It's a home business. It's no big deal, and it shows that we are real people, and we do have a home, and we do have loved ones, and we're all part of a community of people who care. And that's the biggest thing that's really cool about having a community with support and advice. You need advice, you have trusted friends you can go to. That's very important.
Katie, you want to add to that? I'm sure you got something you want to say.
I actually can't really add much to it because, like I was saying when you dropped off, Dave, that it really opened my eyes a bit when with moms and moms with kids, and it's just, and working a business and full-time mom and doing all that stuff. And it's just I'm impressed, moms and single moms and dads. I am super impressed of what you guys do and how you guys still get stuff done, because we have a lot of moms and dads that are in our group that still get the stuff done. And it's like, holy crap, how do you guys really do that? I mean, I think it's magical, you know. So, but yeah, I'm right with Pops where, you know, we did have a lot of tech issues, and it was just so funny how our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then our Saturday hangouts, and we just had a lot of tech issues, and a lot of family things that popped up, and a lot of birthdays this month, a lot of graduations this month. So we understand that that goes on, but it's just, I felt like there was something missing for sure. And I felt like, okay, this is a holiday, like exactly what you were saying in the beginning, Dave. Like, okay, it feels like we were on Christmas, or it feels like just something was just kind of weird. But I have to say that getting right back into it, being that it's Monday now and we're just starting our new week, it feels good to get back into it. And at first, I mean, I've been there, done that, where I've been on vacation and I don't do work for any online business, and I come back from vacation or something, and I would be like, how do I get back into it? How do I get into the groove again? And the answer is actually community. You're surrounded with people that, well, first of all, there's people that rely on you, so you have that, and then you have people that you're business partners, or you have people that are within your group that just, you know, kind of say, hey, you know, let's do this. You know, it's not like accountability partner, but at least they are relying on you, and they're expecting, kind of in a way, like, okay, what's up this Monday or whatever. So it's kind of it's easy to get back into it when you know there's people out there who want that you, who literally tell you, hey, are we gonna go on? I mean, because I kind of need this. This is my Monday night thing, and I missed it last week, and I missed you guys, I missed your faces, you know, so it's kind of cool. So that's what I wanted to say.
It's really, really amazing how that works out. I can't, you know, there have been so many times. I'll tell you guys a little bit of a story of what happened to me this week. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm not saying this to make myself look bigger than anyone else here, because I know that there are, you know, there are too many people smarter than I am. And the only reason that this happened to me was the fact that I was consistently part of a community trying to help out. And way back when I first got started, one of my very first members that I tried to help with my strategy, the SAM method that I use for ranking YouTube videos, I was teaching this person about how to use the SAM method. And I didn't think anything of it. It was kind of like I just taught this person the strategy, and I hadn't spoken to that person in a few years. And I just carried on with my business, doing what I do best. And out of the blue, I get this message from this person. You know, they chat to me every now and then, but we don't have long conversations. Out of the blue, they just said, Dave, what is your PayPal account? I just thought, because I'd involved with an affiliate program, and I thought they needed updated information. So I gave my information out there, and I said, why? You know, just to verify. And they said, I just wanted to send you something to say thank you for what you did. And they just dumped this amount of cash in my PayPal account. So what's that for? He said, because I just wanted to say thank you for what you taught me, because it really helped me. And that really touched me, because I thought, gee, I wasn't expecting that. It wasn't something I wanted, but I was really touched by that factor, the fact that me being a part of a community and me interacting with somebody out there, that I made a difference in somebody's life, that they are actually in the position now where they can start doing this online thing full time. And that's just an amazing thing, where you can actually get to that position in your business. And that's what we ultimately want to do. We ultimately want to be able to do what we want to do full time. And I can remember during the 8 months of me trying to figure out this online thing, trying to figure out what was it I needed to do. And when we cover this many times, but I'll just go over it again in case you missed it. The one thing that I needed was a mentor, and I had that. I had mental. The second thing I needed was time to work in my business. And I created that because I needed to make time in my life, and I worked for at least, because I was working full time and I had to make 2 hours a day for my business. And in those 2 hours, I utilized every bit of every minute that I could to utilize what I needed to do. I needed to buy training, and I bought the right training. I wasn't just buying any freebie nonsense out there that was going to give me 5,000 views on 5,000 views on my website. I remember buying a Fiverr product for $5, and somebody was going to send me 5,000 views to my website, and I thought I'd struck at gold, but it was useless training that I was following, and that didn't give me anything. And it was only when I started to buy real training from legitimate sources, like the one we're recommended to you below this video, that I started to get results. So that was buying the right training. And then the fourth one, which is what we're talking about today, and that is being part of a community and having a community that really cared for you, really wanted you to grow. And that wasn't just being in the community, it was interacting with people who wanted to help me. And I'm not just talking about people that wanted to help me for monetary gain. There are so many people I know that Katie helps that she's not even connected to on any sort of payment level. She's helping people out of the goodness of her heart. The same with Jamie, the same with Pops, and the same with a lot of people, wonderful people on this hangout. And that is the culture that we try to convey, that you help without expecting anything in return. Because when you have that philosophy, that's ironically when things come back your way, which is exactly what happened this week for me. And then, of course, the last one is to use systems that actually work. Use systems that people have tried and tested. Don't go and create your own autoresponder. Don't try and create an autoresponder from scratch. Why would you want to do that? Use systems that people are actually using. You know, don't use broken down systems. Use the systems that $1 million earners are using in their industry, using in their circles. Use the products that they use. Don't try and build everything up. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. You know, the wheel's been invented. Don't look for that wheel. Try and use systems that, in fact, not try, go ahead and use systems that work. And that is how I started to see the biggest difference in my life. When things started to work out that way, that's when I started to see the biggest increase in my business ever. So ask yourself the question, do you have a mentor that you are following, that you are listening to, that you are stalking, that you are paying attention to? Are you spending the amount of time you should in your business? And only you know that. I don't know that. I'm not your keeper, but you know the truth. Are you actually buying training to help you? Or are you trying to just get past and use the freebie stuff that you can just get past? Because all of us here have bought thousands of dollars of products. Every single one of us here have done that. And then, of course, are you actually in a community? Are you actually involved? Are you contributing? Are you learning? Are you participating? Are you training? You know, and then are you actually using systems that work? And if you are not doing one of those 5 things, that's probably the reason you're not going that distance. All right, because every one of us has been scared. Every one of us has been caught in a place where we don't want to go somewhere. We don't want to go there because we're afraid of something. But it's only when you start to realize, okay, I'm doing something different now. I'm doing something radically different now. This is really outside of my comfort zone. That's when you start to see, hey, hang on a second, I'm doing something different. Because obviously, if you're doing something different, you're not going to be doing the same thing you were in the past. All right. So if you follow the habits that you have right now, and that's why habits are so important. Habits are incredibly important. You know, who you're hanging around with, who you're listening to, What are you doing every time you get up in the morning? What are you doing every day before you go to bed? You know, what is, you know, are you healthy? Are you eating right? I'm going through a water fast, which I'm going to be doing starting this Thursday. God willing, I'm starting this thing on Thursday where I'm going to be drinking water, and I'm going to start for the first 3 days and see how I do. Then I'll extend it to 4 and then extend it to 5 because I'm concerned about my health. I want to be better. I want to be in a body that's able to work. All right. So, because if you're just slothful and you've got this heavy fog in your mind, you can't be productive. And wow, we've covered a whole bunch of topics there. Anybody else want to contribute to what I'm saying?
Yeah, you actually mentioned something really specific that is really important, which is to invest in training. And, you know, everybody has their own, like, let's say their own number of how much they've invested in training. And I do have to say it's endless. Let's just say that, because there's always something new that we want to learn and how to make us better. And the reason why I'm going to speak for the whole panel here and some of the people that are in the comments, I think the reason why we still continue to buy and invest into training is because, yeah, we want to make ourselves better, but we want to turn around and share that with others in order to help them be better. You know, because the stuff that we want to learn, we want to use it, and if it works for us, we want to share it with everybody else. And you know, it's just better for everybody. So for those of you who are interested in becoming a thought leader and a leader that has a community where you're training other people to win, you're going to have to buy training all the time. You're just going to have to. Otherwise, it's just going to be like dead in the water. You just have nothing to talk about. Why do we always have something to talk about every single week on these Hangouts? Is because we're always constantly learning, and we're investing in our time in our business, and we're doing the stuff just so we can provide this value. And I do have to say that, you know, we're not getting paid here. I mean, I hope I'm actually still waiting for that holiday Mother's Day pay from Dave, you know, but that's okay. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, no, we don't get paid doing this. We're sitting here and we're just sharing this value because we know what it feels like to not have the support. You know, that's how this community was put together. Is we're a bunch of misfits that were kind of felt like we were left alone on an island kind of thing, where we had to figure all this out on our own. And come to find out, it's the training that helps, and it's the community that is the backbone of that, because you get people that you're just surrounded by support. Now, if I can go a little bit further about this type of hangout that we're doing, we share this with our community, and we actually have this as a special code for our members, part of this community. So what that means is that you don't have to do the selling all by yourself. We do it together. So what that is that this page that you're on is a special code for our members. They have a special username. And so what they could do is they can share this with other people. And if someone decides to buy, they get the sale. And we're doing the selling together. They don't have to be on these. Well, we like to have them have their own hangouts, you know, because that's what we teach here, is to get out there, get out the information. Because once you get it out of your head and put it on video, on a blog post, on a Facebook post, on Twitter, once you start doing that, it's going to be addictive, and it's just going to keep going, and people are going to follow you. Then are going to wonder what the hell you're doing, and they're going to buy your stuff, and you're going to make more money. You know, it's just like a snowball effect stuff. So, and that's why we do that here. So we're just all a bunch of one big happy family, like Jamie's saying in the comments. We become family, and we help each other out. So I thought that was important to say. Appreciate it.
No, I love it. I love it. Pops, you want to say something? I think you're itching to say something.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, you know, there's another area that people need to pay attention to, other than to taking the training, and sometimes you need coaching and mentorship as well. And we have a community of mentorship when we all get together. But coaching, aside from that, is also an important thing. Katie and I have had a coach. I continue to have a coach. And I'm going to become a coach, and coaching is pretty important actually. I shouldn't say I'm going to become. I am becoming a coach, and that I found is a very rewarding area that I want to get into, and I found the importance of it through having a coach. Straighten me out, straighten out a lot of things that I didn't know that I needed to consider. A lot of things that I was actually kind of afraid to do, but didn't know that that was why I wasn't doing it. That there's a lot of different things that can go on in one's life that will mess them up or hold them back from getting things done, and not even know what it is. It's not because you're lazy. Not procrastination certainly can be triggered by something that a coach could help you find out about. Some fears. I used to be afraid of getting in front of a camera to the point where I would break out in a sweat and just stammer and hum and haw. Sometimes open my mouth and nothing would come out. And that was a real fear for me. And I was able to get over that finally. And trying to get away from the is something else too, but it doesn't matter. You got to be yourself. So that's another thing to consider, is for sure a mentor, and I think Dave mentioned that before. And if you're really, really stuck, reach out to somebody who you might know as a coach, or look up coaches online. Get a hold of me. Jamie took a coaching course. We can probably help you out. And that's very, most coaches are having a lot of success in getting people the help that they need to break free from some of the fears and whatever's holding them back. So I just wanted to throw that in the mix.
Yeah,
And
sorry, I want to add to that real quick, just to emphasize on the coaching part, is that people say that Tony Robbins has a coach, and I'm pretty sure Tony Robbins' coach has a coach. Just saying. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
I got one thing to say too. Now I know for a fact, my coach came from Eric Worre, iGoPro, and through his program. And my coach told me that Eric Worre spent $500,000 on coaching last year alone.
Wow.
And so, he continues to improve himself, and it shows, because he is so dynamic and he is forceful in what he has to say and teaching. The guy is amazing, just amazing in his knowledge. And we watched him. People, when you're in an MLM, for instance, everybody has objections, and we experience objections from our prospects, and he can beat every objection in the world, and he proved it on live. We're in Las Vegas at their last GoPro event, and he proved it, that he can. People were shouting out objections, whether it be money, time. I got to work too much. I already have too many jobs, and he beat them all, showing that there really is no reason not to be able to do a part-time online marketing business. It was fantastic. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I will say that all the excuses I used to come up with for myself, not being able to be online, not being able, even for me, not being able to afford the stuff that was always in the dollar. Man, I hated the dollar. I hated the dollar at one stage, because the dollar for me was so out there and I couldn't be a part of it. But because I just kept on working at it, because I kept on talking to the right people, eventually I found somebody who helped me through that. And I found that if you have a problem, if you keep working at it, And, you know, it's sometimes people will say you've got to keep asking yourself a different question so that you can find the right answer. And the more you ask the right questions, or the more you keep asking questions, somebody out there is going to give you an answer. And you'll probably find that 9 times out of 10, you already know the answer. You're just not willing to change, you know, because we have this internal struggle with ourselves that we don't want to move forward for some reason. You know, everybody has the ability, in my mind, to make this work. But there is an inner struggle that stops us from actually going forward because there's something that's blocking us. And this is why if you surround yourself with the right type of people, you will find that that mindset will rub off of you. That mindset will actually influence the way that you listen and the way that you speak and the way that you interact with people. It will change how you interact with people all the time. We're coming to the top of the hour. We've got 10 minutes to go. I just want to take this time, first of all, to tell everybody right now that we have a couple of hangouts that happen throughout the week. And if you don't have time to be a part of all of them, that's okay. That's why there are other hangouts. But I do want to emphasize that you want to, first of all, be on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Mali System Pro hangout. They have tremendous teachers on there. They're doing a YouTube training on there, which is great. An hour before that, at 8 p.m. Eastern, there'll be Wisdom Wednesday. There's also going to be Katie and Pops, which is going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're going to have Rocket Rec, who's going to be on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget Maria and Sonia that are going to be on at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that correct? I got that right? Yes, absolutely. And then, of course, don't forget, you want to go to Jamie Shaw's Hangout on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, and of course, if you're part of our community as well, don't forget we have the Workshop Warrior Institute, which is on Saturday, which we're going to be running. But yes, Jamie.
Yeah, if you really want your mind twisted, this week is the week. Over on the right side of the screen is the Deep Abyss. This week is the Deep Abyss week. And if you want your mind all warped, taken down in the Deep Abyss, that's the mastermind you want in, because it will help you. And it's a whole different community from this community. A lot of the same people are in there, but it's led by, you know, all of our mentors, Diane Hockman. And if you were on her live today, you know, I said hi to her. She said hi back to me. She said, who are you most influenced by, was her question. I said, I've been most influenced by you. And then I said, Dave Renick. And she goes, you guys are loyal to Dave Renick, aren't you? I'm like, yes, we are. But, you know, Diane, she, you know, it's not for the weak at heart to go in the Deep Abyss. I mean, because she takes you to a place where you've never been. And that's what it's all about. That's why I've taken coaching. I've taken NLP. That's why Pops and Katie have taken coaching. That's why we have coaches, because we get in a place where we can't fix ourselves, or not that we can't fix ourselves. We get in a place where we're stuck and we rely on a coach to fix ourselves. And once we know how to fix ourselves, we can come in and fix you. That's what makes us better marketers, better coaches and stuff, because we know how to fix ourselves. You know, and I'm invested in a lot of training and coaching. And I took a coaching class, NLP practitioners class, and NLP master's class, and I have another life coach certification class that I'm taking that it's, you know, it's 10 parts, and I'm in part 3, you know, so it's not a couple month program, you do it and get it done. It's basically a year-long program, and it's helping me grow and become more articulate and become a better person overall, because I know how to fix me when this screws up. So I like how Katie sits back and listens to me now.
Well, you know, Diane has definitely influenced a lot of us, and I certainly had a tongue lashing from her once in a while whenever I get on that call. The main reason I haven't been able to get on there is because I've had issues with my connection. But I definitely want to be a part of as well. So if you're not part of the Deep Abyss, make sure that you are. You get so much stuff inside of there, and it really does. It's amazing. You know, it's kind of like having a gourmet meal, a meal that you haven't had before, something with lots of tastes and textures, and it's just amazing. You know, you think you kind of know it all, and then somebody just goes ahead and blasts you with something you think, wow, is that strawberry? Wow, is that like watermelon? I couldn't believe that I was in there. And that's exactly what Diane brings to the table. And even Diane herself, she has a mentor that she listens to, and you're thinking, gee, why does she have to have a mentor? But this is what we do. We listen to people who have been there before us so that we can grow and experience more. And I can tell you right now, as much as Diane knows, there's a lot more that she wants to learn and that she needs to learn so that she can be on there. So if there's one other tip I would say to you right now, and I know that it's good for you to be a part of, it's that every single day from Monday to Friday, My Elite System Pro has this wake-up call. And if you can get on those wake-up calls, you not only learn stuff, but you can take it and you can apply it, and you can share it with the world. And one of the things I'm really excited about, tomorrow, God willing, my line is going to be working. I'm going to have an 8 meg line, apparently, because they are moving my line to a different exchange. And God willing, I'm going to have a good connection tomorrow, and my whole world is going to change a little bit. So I am really excited about that. So we'll see how that goes. But with that being said, I think Katie wants to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to also say that for members of the My Elite System Pro, there's an app. So when I open that up, you can actually, when you're a member, you can get all the replays of all the morning calls, which is awesome because then you can listen to it anytime. Just
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, so there's no shortage of training. There's no shortage of leadership. There is no shortage of community. There is no shortage of systems. There is no shortage. You might think there's a sort of shortage of time, but believe me, you can make time. I would rather work with a busy person than somebody who has all the time in the world. That's just a little bit of a clue there, because people that work and people that are busy are people that are going to put the effort in. And that's definitely changed my mind shift as well. So with that being said, we are going to say goodbye. We hope everybody has an amazing week. Make this week a difference. Put a change in your step. Make things happen. Do things differently. Stand out of the crowd. And we will see you same time next week. We will see you then. Bye-bye. And we're still live. We're still live.
hey, that's my song.